Nariko, look, they're preparing to attack us from above. How are you, Nariko?
I'm fine.
Nariko, I know that in my desire to be your tutor, I often neglected to be your father. It was a poor decision for me and for you.
If you hadn't, I probably would have died long ago. Ready?
Ready. We must stand firm!
Heavenly Sword, here we are with the second to last video in the final chapter. So the next video is going to be the whole boss fight of King Bohan. It's going to be a little bit lengthy, but it's a lot of fun. And for now, it's just our final sort of real fighting. I think I did say in the previous video, we're not going to do a whole lot of non-invincible fighting, but this is going to be the final part. So we have our dad with us here. He's going to be helping us out, and we also have to fight these annoying little ninjas. So again, if you counter them, they will counter you, or I guess anti-counter you, I don't know, whatever they do, and that will pop up a button you need to press so you can actually counter them. If you don't push that button, they'll throw you around, and you'll take damage instead. By this point, we also have all 3 beads in our wheel in the top left corner there. And that means we get to do pretty devastating attacks when you push and hold circles. So that will usually damage all the enemies around the one that you're trying to kill, but it's something you may want to save when it's a little bit worse for you and when you're starting to take a lot more damage. But it is kind of good too, because in games like these, it's a good idea to try to reduce the amount of damage that's coming into you, which means killing even one person is worth using that on when you think about it, because it's just one person you don't have to deal with. And this is, in my opinion, the most annoying thing, the most annoying part in this game. I don't know if they made these specific ninjas harder than the previous ones we fought, but I just took a lot more damage here than I did when I fought them earlier in the game. So I don't really know what the heck that was about. And sometimes, like this one, when you think they're dead and they're not actually dead, it's just really annoying, and they seem to have blocked every single attack I threw at them. I don't really know why I was having such a hard time with these guys. But your father there will sometimes step in and be pretty helpful when you can try to go over and kill them. And yet again, I thought she was dead, but she wasn't, because it looked like she went ragdoll, and I don't know how many times we've knocked her to the floor, and it didn't kill that one, so I don't... It was just kind of a pain in the neck, I tell you. And then once we get over here, Shiro is going to wander around in circles for some reason, and there's going to be more of these ninjas dropping from the sky, and we're going to be doing this for a couple of minutes. So once that's finished, I'm going to talk about the next part of the video. There might be a little cutscene in between, and I will continue then.
as we can.
Kai, what about Kai?
I'll take care of her.
And you?
I've got enough fight left in me for the both of us. Now go!
War Machines is going to be the title of this level, although maybe I'll make that the title of the video, actually. That'd be a pretty good title. And we have to demolish Bohan's army as best we can, so it's all sitting out in front of us, and the whole game, or this whole walkthrough, playthrough, whatever, I've been mentioning how I think that this game has some of the best you versus the army battle scenes in any game I've ever played, and it's not like if you play a game like Total War, you get a lot of those army versus armies, but you're not the one playing, you know, those are strategy games, you're overlooking it. This one, you're actually playing in the army, and I just think it's one of the best instances of this in a video game that has ever been done, even to this day, and it's one of the more memorable things for me of Heavenly Sword. So we have to kill 500 of these guys, and we get a cannon, and we can do our best to aim the cannon at these things, at these enemies, and try to kill as many as we can before they get to us. Eventually, though, they are going to get to us, and aiming this cannon is just not good, you know, it's just not very great. Eventually, they are going to get to us. It's not really going to matter, though, because these guys are pretty weak. They are just the regular grunts of the army, and we can use the light attack here that we use to deflect arrows to destroy as many of them as we can. And then we are going to get a few tougher enemies thrown at us, like these guys with the swords, but there's going to be enough enemies with enough of the regular grunt enemies that we shouldn't really have to worry about them too much, but it just feels like that they made these enemies easier anyway. They're not nearly as good or as hard as they were previously in the game, and it's kind of like Noriko's just kind of going mad with power at this point. All that ability from the Heavenly Sword going through her, I guess. And we just have to do this until we get to 500, and then we'll have to actually, ourselves, as Noriko, go destroy a couple of catapults. And there will be a time limit, and it's kind of annoying having that time limit, but if you do it correctly, you should have well over a minute before, left. You should have well over a minute left, so it doesn't really, it's not really too big of a deal. The biggest thing I found that helps here is just trying to hit as many enemies as possible to get that bead menu, whatever that super ability menu in the top left ability, get that up to 3 beads, and when you move Noriko into a group of enemies and then use that on one of them, it will slam onto the ground and destroy a bunch of enemies for you, and it's just really helpful trying to get that count up to 500. You just want to kill as many as you can. We don't currently have a time limit. I guess our time limit here is just going to be our health bar. So try not to take as much damage as you, if possible, and again, get that menu up there, and then I'm trying to push circle, there we go. Swings them around, slams them onto the floor, and with that it did not nearly as much damage as it should have because I wasn't really surrounded by enough enemies. But that's okay, I guess. The count went up there a little bit. And now we're at 450 here right now in a second. Come on, right there. Wow, there we go. And we'll just keep doing this until we hit 500. And once we hit that number, we will get our time limit, so we now have 4 minutes to run on over to the catapults, and we have to destroy the catapults before they break down the wall, which happens there in 4 minutes. Now keep in mind, if you destroy the second catapult, I don't think you win if you have 0 seconds, so you want to give yourself about a minute left, at least about a minute, because you have to run back toward the castle once the second catapult is destroyed. So it might actually be in your benefit to go after the second catapult first, so when you come to the first one, you're closer. But either way, it's just a matter of climbing onto the catapult and then following the quick time events. Now, I got thrown off the catapult there. I could have sworn, like, I was sure that I had pushed square. I don't really know why it tossed me off. I was really surprised that that happened. But I guess just for demonstration purposes, yeah, that was why I did that. That's what happens if you push the wrong button. It's also kind of annoying trying to push square, or the X right there, because you have to be in that spot, and you can get knocked around, and if you're not looking at it correctly and you walk and, it's just annoying. I was pushing X there, but Noriko kept walking out of the way, so it kept knocking me around. Anyway, I will finally take out this catapult Legolas style, and that was pretty fun, and then we can run on over toward the second one. So even if you mess up once or twice, you should have more than enough time to do it. Every now and then I am just going to try to clear out as many enemies as I can, just because they are really annoying. And for the most part, you can run through these guys as long as they aren't glowing a certain color. They're not really going to be attacking you, so you can run through a lot of them. But that one right there, I don't know what the heck was tossing me around there. And I'm getting stuck on the environment, and then we're going to run on over toward the right side of the catapult and do the exact same thing. So once this one's done, we'll have to run back to the wall, and then that'll be the end of this video. And the next one will be the final video of this Heavenly Sword playthrough, which is the boss fight with King Bohan.
Nariko! I need you back here, quick!
Why are they retreating?